we are going to dive deep into one of the most important topics in JavaScript, which are events. Events are everywhere on the web. When you click a button, type on your keyboard, move your mouse, or even when a page finish loading. Those are all examples of events. By the end of this part, you will not only understand what events are, but also know how to use them to make your web page interactive and dynamic. Okay, so this is what we are going to be looking at in this part. We are going to look at what are events, the types of events, ways to handle events, event object, the event bubbling and capturing, or preventing default behaviors, then how to remove event listeners. Okay, so let us continue. So here I have my index.html document here, and this is the one I'm going to be working with. Okay, so before we start, let us know what are events. Okay, an event is basically an action or occurrence that happens in the browser. It could be triggered by the user like clicking, typing, or scrolling, yeah? Or it could be triggered by the browser itself, like when the page loads or when an image finishes downloading. Okay, JavaScript allows us to listen for these events and then respond to them. So that response is what we call an event handler or an event listener. Okay, so let us take a look at a basic example. Okay, so for example, here we can have a button here, a button here, Control Z, a button here. So this button, let us give it click me. Let this button say click me. Then here let us pass an ID, which is my button, my btn, like that. Okay, so here down here in our script tags, we are going to have an event listener. Okay, so we create it like this. This is the basic example. So here we need to access the document, the DOM. Okay, using the document dot get element by id. I think you know this one. Then we pass in the ID, which is my btn, like this. Okay, then we add the event listener. Okay, so you are going to see what this is a type of a way of adding event. Okay, we are going to take a look at this in the next part, in the next minute. Okay, first look at what we are going to do. So here we add the event listener. Okay, dot add event listener. Then the event listener we want to add there, it is the click event listener. Okay, the click here, as you can see, add event listener. Then here the type. Okay, the type, which is the click here. Okay, so after adding the click, then we need to add another one, which is the handler. So the handler, let us create a function here, a function like this. Okay, then this function after when this event listener, this event has happened, this is what we are going to do. Okay, so we are going to alert that a button was clicked like this. Okay, clicked like that. Okay, so after doing that, we are going to save our file. Okay, so here on our browser we can see our button is here, click me. Okay, click me, our button is here, and when we click, you can see an alert. We get an alert. So button was clicked. Oh, I didn't complete this. Button was clicked, as you can see here. Button was clicked here. If I do it again, button was clicked. Okay, so this is it. This is the best example. So here we have a button. We created a button here, a button, and then we use and then we use this one, which is the add event listener. Okay, to listen to the click event. This is the event, the click event, this click event, and when the button is clicked, the function runs and shows an alert, which is this one. Okay, so let us take a look at another part. I think you have now understood what event is, what an event is. Okay, so let us take a look at the types of events. Okay, so let us take a look at types of events. Okay, so one of the first type we have is the mouse events. Okay, they are the mouse events. Okay, these ones, they can handle click, double click, mouse over, mouse out, mouse down, mouse up, mouse or mouse move. Okay, those are all the mouse events. Okay, so for example here, so here we can have mouse, we can have double click. For double click we use DBL. Okay, DB click, like that. Yeah, double click. Okay, double click. So, and if we save and then we load our page, okay, the page has loaded. Okay, and then we single click like this. If we single click like that, we are not going to get this alert, because the event on this object, on this element, it is a double click. Okay, so in order to get this alert, we need to double click like this. So if we do double click, we get this one, we get an alert. Okay, so that is one of the mouse event we have. We have even the mouse out, we have the mouse down, we have even the mouse move, the mouse up. We have a lot. Yeah? They are many. They are like this. They are like this. There is a mouse up. There is mouse down, mouse move. All those. They are mouse events. Okay. They are mouse events. Okay. So we have another type, which is the keyboard events, which is the key down and the key up. Even the key press events. Okay, we have another type, which are the form events, and these ones, they include the submit, the change, focus, blur, input, and many others. We have also the window events. Okay, the window events, we have the load, resize, scroll, unload. Okay, those ones, and each of these events can be captured and handled in JavaScript to build amazing interactions. Okay, so let us look at this one, the way of handling these events. There, and we have 3 main ways to handle events in JavaScript. And the first one is the use of the inline event handlers, and these ones we use it inside the HTML element. So for example here we have our button. Okay, so here we can add an event, and here they all start with the on. Okay, so for example here we had before, we add the click event. Okay, here we add the click event. Okay, so this click event, we can use the inline event handling. Okay, to use to listen for this event. Okay, so for example here, let us remove it. So if we try to test it again and we click, we get nothing. Okay, so let us see how we can use the inline event handlers. So we remember I said we use on. We start with on digits, yeah, on. Okay, so on, inside our first tag, opening tag of the element, we add the on. Remember we are listening for the click event. So then we continue on click like this. I think Virtual Studio Code is showing us this option, on click. So on click, then we write equal, then quotations. Okay, so equal, then inside here it is where we put our JavaScript code that we want to execute when this event, the on click event has happened, the click event. Okay, so here we do like this. We let us alert something clicked. Okay, clicked. So here, remember we are using, here outside we used the double quotes, which means inside here we are going to use single quotes. Okay, single quotes like that, so that we don't get errors. Okay, so if we save and then we come back here and we click, we get this one. We get an alert which is clicked. Okay, which shows clicks, and this works, but it is not recommended in modern practice. Okay, it is not recommended, the inline event handling. Okay, so let us look at another one. Here we use the DOM property handlers. Okay, this is another way of handling events by using the DOM property handlers. Here we assign a function to an element property. Okay, so we do it like this one, as we did like this here. So here what we do, instead of doing all of this, we get this one. Let us remove everything here. let us remove everything. So what we do, we access our element, we use the document dot get element by id dot get element by id. Then we are accessing, want to access the my btn like that. Then here we add the event, which is the dot on. We use the on click, okay, on mouse over, on double click like that. So on click like this one, on click, which is a property on click. Then then we assign it a function, okay, that we want to run, okay, when this event happens, like this, like that, okay, like that, as you can see. So now inside this function we can write the code that we want to execute. So alert clicked me like that. So let us remove this event on this button, which is the on click inside here, where we were using inline handling. So if we save and then we come back here and we click, we get clicked me, which is right here, okay. So that is another way, that's another way of handling events, okay, and this is called the DOM property handling, okay. So let us look at another way, which is the use of the addEventListener, okay, and this is the most recommended one, okay, which we used before, okay, and it works like this. So here, after getting access to our element, to our element, then we add the event. So we do this dot add event listener, and inside here we pass in the event, which is the click event, which is the type, click event type. Then here we add the handler, the listener, okay, the listener, okay, which is a function, okay. So here we add the function here. Then this function is going to take a property, as you can see here, ev for pointer events, okay. This is the event, is going to give us access to this event, okay. It is going to give us access to that event. Here we can pass it there, we can call it event there like that, or we can just pass there any name you give it, okay. So after doing that, then here we need to end our function like that, okay. Then here we can add our code. So alert clicked me again like that, okay. So if we save and we click, we get this output there, okay. And this is the modern and the flexible way, because you can add multiple listeners and remove them later if needed, okay. So we shall see all these in the next part, okay, as we go on, and how we can access this one, the E, okay. So we shall see that, okay. So let us take a look at the event object, okay. And you should know that whenever an event happens, JavaScript automatically passes an event object to the handler function, okay, which is the one we created here, the handler function, okay, this handler function, okay. So for example, so here we have these ones. We have this function, which is the handler function, okay. So here the event objects, we have the event object we have, it is right here. This one, okay. It is the event object, and this one we can access it. So for example, if we try to console to alert, want to alert E. Remember this one, it has a type, it is a type. Remember this one, it is going to give us access to this event, okay. So remember this one, we know that it is the on-click event, okay. So let us get the type. Let us get the type, okay. We get the type like that, dot e dot type event dot type, okay. This one, E stands for the event, then dot type, okay, like that, okay. So if we save and then we reload our page and then we click, we get the click, okay. This is the type, which is the click, okay. It is the type, okay. So here we can also get the target, okay. We can also get the target e dot we can get the target, and this one is going to give us the element that was clicked, okay, like that. And if we save again and then we click this one, we get object HTML, button element. So it is a button element which was clicked. Okay, so it will give us access to that. So okay, so that is it. Now let us look at another concept. We can even get the keys which they have clicked, and many. Okay, so let us take a look at another concept, which is event bubbling and capturing. Okay, so events in JavaScript don't just happen on one element, they bubble up through the DOM. Okay, so for example, if you click on a button inside a div, the button click event fires first. Okay, the button click event, it fires first, then the div's click event, then lastly the body, and so on, like that. Okay, so this one is called the event bubbling. We start from the child, which is the button where that event has happened. Then we go to the next child, to the sub-child. Then we go to the parent. Then lastly to the parent. Okay, which in this case is a body. Okay, if we have put our button inside a div. Okay, and this one is called the event bubbling. Okay, so you can also capture events as they go down from the root to the target. Okay, remember, from the root to the target. Okay, and this one is called event capturing. Okay, so for event capturing, we go down here. We go down from the root to the target. Okay, but for event bubbling, we start from the child, then we go to the root. Okay, so when using the addEventListener, you can specify this with the third element, which is either it is a boolean. Okay, it is a boolean. It is either true or false. Okay, so for example, here let us create some examples here. Let me show you some examples. So for example, here if we have an element here, our element, let us get this one. Let us put it inside. Let us create constant our element here. Let's give it that one. So now let us access our element. So if we have our element here, then we add the event listener, like this one, the event listener. So here we have a click. Then here we can have our handler, which is a function. Then here it can either be true, and if it is true, then this one is called event capturing. Okay, if it is true, it is called event capturing. Okay, so then here if we make this one, we add the event listener. Then here we have our event, which is the click event. Then here we can have our handler function. Remember, we must create it. Then here if we set it to be false, and this one is the default, which is event bubbling. Okay, and in event bubbling, remember we said that we start from the child to the root. Okay, and this one is the default, it is false. And if you want to start from the root and go to the child, you need to specify here as true. Okay, to enable event capturing. Okay, so let us look at we have seen event bubbling and event capturing. Okay, so we shall see how important this is. Okay, so let us go to another concept. So here we have seen event bubbling, event object, we have seen all. So let us now go to how to prevent default behaviors. Okay, so how to prevent default behaviors. Sometimes elements have default behaviors. For example, clicking a link navigates to another page. Okay, or submitting a form reloads the page. Okay, so sometimes you may want to stop that behavior. You can use what is called the event.prevent default. Okay, so for example here we can have our form here. Let us have our form. Okay, so here we can have our form. It is a get form. We are getting what we are getting. HTTP. Let me create HTTPS actions. Let us give it none. And here it is a get. Then here we can have an input. an input like there, text, it is a text. Then here we can have a submit button. We can have button which is submit. Then here let us give it a type which is submit, like this. Let us give it submit like that. Then here down here, let me show you how you can prevent the default behaviors. Okay, so here as you can see here, if I try to type and get hello like that, and if I try to submit, we are going to get, it is going to reload, the page is going to reload. As you can see, the page has reloaded. And if we go back to our index.html and we submit again, as you can see, we get nothing here. We get this one slash and again this one. Okay, so this is the default behavior. Okay, the page reloads. Okay, so let us see how we can reload this one. So let us first remove this code. It is no longer helpful. So let us access our form. So let us create a constant form equals to document get element by id. So we are accessing form here. We are accessing form. So this one, we gave it an id. Let us remove this id. So for the submit, so here we gave it an id which is form. So let us access it like this one. So form like that. So after doing that, now let us add a event listener dot add event listener. So we are adding event listener. Which event listener are we adding? We are adding the submit event. Then let us create an handler here, which is a function. Then here let us pass in our event, or you can call it e, just like that. Then here we get the event. So we prevent the default by using the event.prevent default. So event.prevent default, it is going to prevent the default behavior of the page reloading, okay, when the form is submitted. Okay, so after there, then here we want to let us alert, or we can even console.log form submitted without reloading, form submitted without reloading the page. Okay, like that. Okay, so if we do that and we try to save our file, let us save. Then here let us try to submit. Hello. Then if we try to submit like this, here as you can see, we try to submit, but nothing has happened. So let us go in the console by pressing Ctrl+Shift+I. It is going to open up, as you can see, form submitted without reloading the page. Okay, so if we try to press it again, as you can see here, if you are not seeing very well, let me increase the size. So that you can see. Okay, so if we get this one and then I try to increase the size, as you can see. So if I try to submit again, as you can see, multiple times we submit multiple times, but there is nothing, there is no change in the URL. Okay, so there is no change. Okay, so that's how you can prevent the default behaviors of some elements. Okay, so let us now take a look at another one, which is controlling, which is removing the event listener. Okay, so let us create here function. Okay, so let us first go back. Let us create a function which is greet here, and here let us alert something on the screen, alert hello, like that. Okay, so that one. Then let us add the event listener, okay, to a certain button. So let us delete this form. So here we have my button. Okay, so let us add the event listener. Okay, so let us first get access to our element. Okay, like this one. So document.get element by id, which is we want to get my btn like that. Then after that, we are going to add event listen. Okay, so after doing that, we are going to add event listener add event listener, we are adding event listener, which is the click event. Then here the handler it is going to be our greeting, okay, like that. Okay, so if we do that and we save and we try to click our button like this, we get hello, okay, like this, we get this greeting message, okay. But let us see how we can remove this event, okay. So to remove the event listener, we do like this, okay. So let us remove it. So if we do document, we can remove it. So let us first get access document dot get element by ID and get access to my btn like this, and then we remove it using the dot remove event listen, okay. So remember, the first we add, if we want to add an event listener, we use the add event listener. So if we want to remove, because JavaScript was developed to be developer friendly, programmer friendly, it is easy, okay, to guess what is next. So we use the dot remove event listener. Then here we need to just provide the same, okay. So we provide the type, which is the click event, which we want to remove, and then we provide the greet, okay, greet, which is our handler, okay, and then that handler. So we remove that handler, okay, from that event, okay, move that event listener, okay. So if we try to click it again, as you can see, we get nothing, okay. So that's how we can use events in JavaScript. That's how we can use events in JavaScript. You will see more examples as you use JavaScript, okay. But this is the best and the core foundation, okay. You will see how to apply them if you start learning React.js, Node.js, okay, like that. Mostly React.js, mostly front end. When you are working with front end, remember the DOM and the BOM mostly works with the front end, okay. So thank you.